Hey everybody, it's X's Master X. Welcome back to another episode of Pokemon LeafGreen. Now right off the bat I should show you that while I was running back to the Pokemon Center in between episodes, my Pikachu learned Double Team. And I deleted Tail Whip for it because Double Team's a better defensive option. And that's the only real reason I had Tail Whip still around. Okay, so in this episode we'll be taking on the second half of Mount Moon, after I took on the first half in the last episode. Wow, I'm having a lot of stuttering problems. And my emulator glitched out. Cool. Yeah, I'm back. Just had to reset the emulator real quick. No, I probably mentioned this in the last episode, but on this second floor of Mount Moon, Clefairy and Paris are slightly more common, and Geodude and Zubat slightly less. You'll still be seeing Geodude and Zubat most of the time, though. I don't even know if I've caught all those Pokemon yet. But it doesn't really matter because I can go back and do it later. And this is okay, it's a revive. I thought it might be a Moonstone. Moonstones are items that evolve a lot of Pokemon actually, and I feel like there's never like enough of them in any game. Because you can't buy them or anything like you can other stones. Oh yeah, I believe I mentioned... Okay, here's Clefairy. I gotta see if I can catch it. I should be I should stop talking during these wild encounters so I can cut them out. Oh, thanks. Thanks a lot. Anyways, in an earlier episode I mentioned I was having trouble getting NOSGBA to play a Pokemon Diamond ROM. Well, I managed to figure it out. All you really have to do is just set the save type to or it's not the save type, it's like, you have to set something like the DS something or other to 512 something. You just have to mess with the settings a little bit, basically. If I ever do a Let's Play of a DS game, I might show that. But right now, there's no need. Okay, it ended, so that means I can use Thunder Wave. Make this a little bit easier on me. But yeah, I've been enjoying playing through that game again, because it's been 6 years since I've played through a Gen 4 game. I feel like I need to give it another chance. I just couldn't stand doing it on the original copy because of how slow it was. And even then, I wouldn't really mind how slow it was, except I had to do grinding against Geodudes when I had not very effective moves. So yeah, I just kind of reached my ceiling. I think I mentioned this, but whatever. And there's Clefairy caught. Have I caught all the Pokemon in this cave then? Yeah, the Pokedex is divided into little sections here. Okay, apparently I haven't caught a Geodude yet, but that's okay because that'll be very easy. And where's Paris on this thing? Maybe it's in Forest? Okay, yeah, I've caught Paris. So I just need to catch Geodude, funnily enough. But that won't be hard at all. And it takes me the rest of the episode just to catch Geodude. Okay, onwards we go. This trainer is notable, because in the original game, he was extremely overpowered. He had like a level 16 Raticate or something, which is way too strong for this point in the game. But in this game they fixed it and they nerfed it down to like a level 14 Rattata or something. Yeah. So it'll be reasonable now. Like that guy was often considered almost like a mini boss in the original games. It was kind of ridiculous. Sandshrew. I guess it doesn't matter who I use against it. So let me talk for a little bit about this. I recently started a randomizer run of Pokemon Fire Red. If you have no idea what that is, then a randomized run is basically there's a program you can use to shuffle all sorts of things in the Pokemon games. Like what moves TMs teach, what stats and types and moves Pokemon can learn, where Pokemon appear, what Pokemon appear, basically anything you can think of. You can just randomize it all with this program and just open up a ROM in it and edit everything. And you can kind of choose different options for it too. I do want to do a Let's Play like that sometime, but for now, I'm going to focus on this. If I do that, I'll show how to go through the whole process and how I usually do it. Yeah, as you can see, Yellow's paralyzed. That's not fun. Okay, during an off-screen encounter, Mankey is learning Furious Swipe, so I'm going to go ahead and delete Scratch for it. Doesn't sound much like a chicken, but there's a lot of Scratch. And shuffle my party. This is kind of a long hallway with nothing in it but wall encounters. What level is Pikachu? It always bothers me how I can't see a Pokemon's level when it has a status affliction. That's kind of a stupid thing. Continuing on. Continuing on. And here we have Team Rocket. We've already fought them in the last episode. But yeah, that's reviving. Okay, so he said that they were here looking for fossils, and reviving the Pokemon could bring them huge riches. In that specific wording. I guess that's why they're here. But if so, they're not really causing any trouble right now. That does remind me of this off-the-wall theory I heard about this game, that Team Rocket is actually like the good guys, and you're playing as the antagonist who's ruining all their good deeds. I don't really remember how it goes, but I might look it up about it in a later episode. There's a lot of weird theories about Pokemon. Just like with anything. What you say? Okay, I'll switch to Mankey. Zubat. Luckily, Zubat doesn't have any flying type moves at the level it's at. Okay, so far it's looking like the second part of Mount Moon won't take nearly as long as the first. So I probably should have divided this into more even halves, but you know, whatever. I can show the next route and everything. The next route's kinda useless, but there are fun stories to be told. Okay, let me reorganize my party again. That's right. I can't sing because, like anything, because there would be music playing, and I'll make it really weird. See, since I can't hear it now, I might get the urge to do that. And this is a Moonstone, I know for a fact. And now we have... Okay, wait a minute. I just fought a Clefairy. And there's something funny. When Sugar Conroy was let's playing this game, he said, oh, whenever I'm walking to get this Moonstone, I always run into a Clefairy, like every run of this game I ever do. And then he was disappointed when it didn't happen on that one. Well, that just happened to me. I just ran into a Clefairy just then. That's kind of a weird thing. But yeah, let's play. References to other Let's Players notwithstanding. Hey, stop! I found these fossils. They're both mine. I wonder why Team Rocket isn't attacking this guy rather than attacking random children who don't have any fossils, but whatever. I'm happy for him that he hasn't been attacked by Team Rocket. And all. Just... Oh, this... This fight can be somewhat of a pain, can't it? Yeah, with its defense heightened. Generally, oh god, okay, I'm gonna have to switch this thing out. Generally, Grimer will have a higher special defense than defense, but it has moves that can patch it up. So now wow, this is not fun right now. Don't worry, if push comes to shove, I don't think Ivysaur will ever be able to beat. Oh my gosh, okay. I'm gonna have to switch again. This is not fun. But luckily Grimer is almost down. Yeah, that use. Just trying to make this as difficult as possible for me are you. Now in Pokemon Yellow version, you have a little boss fight with Team Rocket here. And okay, I should be more specific. We've been fighting Team Rocket, but you have a boss fight with Jesse and James from the anime, who normally did not appear in the games whatsoever, but I just dropped my 3DS. They tried to incorporate more elements from the anime into Pokemon Yellow, such as your Pikachu followed you around and such. Such tomfoolery. Which is a feature that was brought back in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, except now all Pokemon could follow you around. Which reminds me of a rather funny picture I saw once. It's kind of browsing the web. It was like, one of my favorite features is to have Pokemon follow you around in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. And it shows like a Flappy following the female main character. And then it was like, especially after I unlocked Lugia. And then it showed the girl talking to this kid with a giant Lugia behind her. And he said, "Hey kid, you want to battle?" And the kid's like, no thanks, miss." He's like holding a Rattata. And then the Lugia has like sunglasses on randomly. I don't know, I thought that was pretty funny. And Pikachu's in no fighting fit, so I think I'm gonna send out Ivysaur. I don't remember what I was talking about then, but it doesn't matter, because at least I got to tell the story of that picture. I might want to leech seed this thing just to make it go down a little bit faster, because Coughing and Grimer are pretty resilient. Coughing having higher defense and Grimer higher special defense. I think on the whole Grimer is considered better, but they're both usable. I use Grimer in my crap. That's what happens when you get used to just mashing A and not thinking about what you're doing. I tend to do that a lot in emulators because of how fast things can go when you have to speed up P. It's a bad habit. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I used Grimer in my Pokemon Sapphire runs I did in preparation for the race of Alpha Ruby and Omega Sapphire. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Sometimes I get those mixed up. Okay. I beat Alpha Sapphire, but I never got to the post-game, because before I was like halfway through Delta episode when I lost the cartridge, and my mom found it in her car, but I still can't play it again until spring break. Anyways, at this point in the game, we're given the choice to choose two things: the Dome fossil or the Helix fossil. Now, there's a rather funny story about the Helix fossil, which is the reason I'll be choosing it. I mean, I always chose it as a kid anyway, just because I thought Omanite was better than Kabuto. And I might get into reasons for that later. Alright then, this fossil's mine. Thank you, kind sir. You can't really do anything with the fossil yet, but you will much later in the game. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So there was a very interesting experiment done by a guy once, where he decided to do a stream on Twitch TV, which would but this specific stream would allow people to control a ROM of Pokemon Red using commands they type into the chat. and it's called Twitch Plays Pokemon. It ended up becoming quite an internet sensation, and I thought there was an item somewhere on one of those rocks, but I guess not. Yeah, it ended up being quite an internet sensation, and spawned many memes, the most important of which is of the Helix fossil. Because at one point, because of the nature of the game, once a lot of people started playing that, it was kind of complete chaos, and it was hard to get anything done, because so many people were entering in so many commands, that they'd end up doing a lot. The Game Boy couldn't process all of those, and just had to kind of choose one. This was fixed, sort of, in later installments. I might talk about that later. But they ended up doing a lot of things they didn't necessarily mean to do, like releasing Pokemon in the PC. That's always terrible. But one of the things they kept doing was they kept going into the bag and selecting the Helix fossil. And since they couldn't do anything, it just said, "Oh, red, it isn't time to use that." And this spawned the joke that whenever there was doubt, they should ask the Helix fossil what to do. Which of course drew comparisons to the magic Conch episode of SpongeBob. Which, to this... Okay, there's another whole story about that, but I'll save it for later because I'm already in the middle of one. And now the gameplay interrupts because these guys are here. These guys teach two powerful normal type attacks called Mega Punch, which is like power and actually 80. Well, its power is 80, it's actually is 85, so it's pretty decent. And Mega Kick, which has a power of 120 and an extra of like 75. I might as well teach them because why not? I usually teach them to my Pokemon just for fun. These. In my randomizer run, you can also randomize move tutor moves, because I think these are the first move tutors you're encountering in the game, unless I'm forgetting something. There's kind of these random people who can teach your Pokemon various moves, blah blah blah. But one of these guys actually teaches you a helping hand, and it made the preceding dialogue rather funny, because he was like, when the chips are down, helping hand is the ultimate attack. And it was so amazing I actually got a screenshot of it, which I'll probably put in at the end of this video. Yeah, he takes a little dive at the other guy who's teaching Mega Kick. So on with my previous story. So there's a joke about consulting the Helix fossil and treating it like a deity. Like, oh, the Helix fossil is our god because we always go to it for help. And eventually they managed to revive the fossil, which is something I'll be explaining much later in the game. Can I teach this to Pikachu? Sure, why not? I don't usually, but just for funsies. Anyways, as I was saying. And that Omanite that they revived from it ended up being quite a respectable member of the team. But yeah, that was all a very fun experience, that whole Twitch Plays Pokemon thing, just kind of following it to see what had happened and all the many memes that spawned from it. And now, you can't actually access that trainer until much later in the game. But now you reach a point of no return, so I should probably go and like catch Geodude right now. But once you go over that ledge, you can't go back to Mount Moon except by very convoluted methods. Which is why, in most times when I go through this game on emulator, I use Advanced Map to edit some of the movement permissions. Yeah, I use it to Advanced Map to edit the movement permissions, so I can just go through that fence and go back to Mount Moon whenever I want. And I also use it so I can just go right back to Pewter City without having to go through Mount Moon by walking through that little strip of mountain I showed earlier. I don't think I've done this to this cartridge. If I have, then that'll be rather entertaining. But I know I did to my Fire Red one because it was like that in the randomized run. Like, oh hey, this is still here. It's cheating, I know, but I don't care. I mean, it was kind of dumb of them to design it that way anyway. But anyways, here we found a Judo. Let's see if we can actually catch it. Because that would be a first. I could just catch it later because it appears in later dungeons of the game, but nah. Okay, so I guess while I'm thinking about it, I might as well should tell my All Hail the Magic Conch story. So that was a pretty cool episode as a kid, you know. SpongeBob, Squidward, and Patrick all get lost in the woods, and SpongeBob and Patrick are consulting this magic conch for everything they do. That's clearly a children's toy, except they're like taking it completely seriously. And in my freshman year of high school, during marching band boot camp, the trombone section kind of adopted that as their motto and had that be their section's battle cry. So this resulted in me changing my religious views on Facebook to All Hail the Magic Conch, and it's still like that today. Because yeah. So that's the funny story about that. There's a new Pokemon we can find in that grass there, and that Pokemon is Sandshrew. I'll go ahead and show it since I probably have to cut out a lot of stuff out of this video anyway. After I heal my team. Heal. Ow. I've used Sandshrew in game before. I usually name it Log-a-Log as a reference to the Redwall series. It's okay. It's usable as a ground type. There's another ground type we get later that I like a lot more though, which I'll be using in this game. Alright, so I'll just cut to when I find it. Nope, never mind. Just right here. Okay, hopefully this won't kill it. Okay, good. The Sandshrew line has pretty good attack and defense, and like decent speed. It also has the ability Sand Veil, I think, which means in Sandstorm, which is a weather which we haven't encountered yet. In fact, we haven't encountered any weather yet. That's getting into kind of high-level gameplay. It has a bigger role in Ruby and Sapphire because they're like an era that had a sandstorm, and there's hail, and the main legendaries cause rain and sun to appear, which are the main two weathers. Well, okay, weathers are a completely different topic, which I'll go into next time. So next time on Pokemon LeafGreen, well, see what's around Cerulean City. I'm not entirely sure how I'm gonna do this yet, as far as like, there's two things you can do right off the bat. You can battle your rival, or you can battle the gym. And I think I usually battle the gym first, but either way I'd have to do some grinding, or I'll scream. So I'll see you guys then.